Hi everyone, welcome to Easy Drive channel. If today is the first time you are watching my channel or you have been watching before you have not subscribed, I encourage you to subscribe, like the video, and remember to hit the notification button so you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. Today we are going to look at NORME SULSORPASSO. NORME SULSORPASSO, rules on overtaking. First, we want to look at what is overtaking. Overtaking is the act of one vehicle going past another slower moving vehicle traveling in the same direction on a road. That is overtaking. We want to look at il conducente che intende a sorpassare, because this thing is very common in the quiz and it causes a lot of confusion while you are doing your quiz. So I want to explain, whenever you come across il conducente che intende a sorpassare, that is, they are talking about the driver that intend to overtake, you that want to make an overtaking. Then the next thing that will be confusing during the quiz is il conducente del veicolo che viene sorpassato. They are talking about the driver that is being overtaken. I mean, you that another vehicle want to overtake, the slower moving vehicle. Then another way they can also refer to you that is being overtaken is il conducente del veicolo da sorpassare. They are talking about the same you that another vehicle want to overtake. So remember, it is not what you need to do as a driver that want to overtake. That is not the same thing you are supposed to do while you are being overtaken. That is why you should know the difference between these words. Il conducente che intende a sorpassare, the driver that want to make an overtaking. Il conducente del veicolo che viene sorpassato, it is the vehicle you want to overtake, the one that is on the normal lane. The same thing, il conducente del veicolo da sorpassare, the same driver that is still on the normal lane, that is going on his own JJ, that you want to overtake, because there are some things you also need to do. Okay. What to consider before overtaking? The first thing is to be sure that there are no signs of overtaking ban, which is divieto di sorpasso. Be sure that there are no signs that forbid overtaking before you think of overtaking, before you. Then another thing is to be sure that overtaking will not force you to cross the continuous line. If there is a continuous line on the floor, remember the rules state that on no condition should you cross the continuous line. So if there's a continuous line at the floor and you know that when you are going to make your overtaking, it will force you to cross the continuous line, you cannot overtake. On a two-way road, be sure you have enough visibility. What they are saying here is that you are supposed to make sure that you can see as far as possible, most when you are on the two-way road. This law apply only on the two-way road, because on the one-way road, vehicles are not coming from the opposite side, so you can overtake whether in the curve, whether in dorsal, you can overtake. But on the two-way road, if dorsal is there, remember dorsal is a hump that can limit your visibility. If you have a curve can also limit your visibility. Since you cannot see too far to see if the vehicle is coming from the other side, you are not supposed to overtake because it is a two-way road. On a two-way road also, be sure there is no car coming from the opposite direction. Before you make overtaking, another thing you must consider is to be sure that there is no car coming from the opposite direction. On the same two-way road, you have to consider the length of the vehicle you want to overtake. Remember, it takes longer time to overtake a very long vehicle. So consider the length of the vehicle, because sometimes it will not be enough for you. They will not have enough time to overtake the long vehicle before another car will come from your opposite side, because you are on a two-way road. When we are talking about a two-way road, we are talking about a two-way road that has one lane to each direction, at least one lane to each direction, because some road can be two-way road and has two lanes to each direction. You don't need to consider all these things. So when I'm talking about a two-way road here, I'm talking about the kind of two-way road that has one lane to each direction. On the same two-way road, you have to consider the speed of the vehicle you want to overtake. Yes, if the speed of the vehicle you want to overtake is a little bit lower than yours, that means if your speed is only little higher than the speed of the vehicle you want to overtake, that kind of overtaking is dangerous on the two-way road, because it will take longer time for you to finish your overtaking, which might result as other vehicle coming from your opposite side meeting up with you before you finish your overtaking. It can also cause an accident. You have to consider if the road is wide enough for you to safely overtake. Yes, this is important in every kind of road. Make sure that the road is wide enough so that you don't use your side mirror to break the side mirror of another vehicle. That is what they call scontro laterale. Scontro laterale. So you have to be very sure that the road is wide enough so that you will not go and cause scontro laterale. So how to overtake? The first thing you must do while you want to carry out maneuver the overtaking is look through your mirrors to be sure the vehicle behind you is not intended to overtake you. This thing causes accident a lot. Sometimes the vehicle behind you wants to overtake you the same time you want to overtake another vehicle in your front. As you are leaving your lane to the overtaking lane, the vehicle behind you is already accelerating to overtake you. It will cause an accident. So be sure that the another vehicle is not ready to overtake you while you are trying to overtake the one ahead of you. Then after being sure that another vehicle is not going to overtake you, signal your intention by traffic gating to the left. If you traffic gate to the left, then the vehicle behind you already know that you want to overtake. Then if he has the intention before, he knows that you already signify your intention, so he will not come down. Then you change to the overtaking lane, then accelerate. Immediately you see that you are free, then you change to the overtaking lane, you accelerate to increase your speed. Then let me quickly add something here. You have to also be sure that you give enough side space to the vehicle while you are overtaking the vehicle. When we say side space, is a spazio laterale, so that we can avoid scontro laterale. If you have to be sure that you are not too close to the vehicle you are overtaking, so that you will not go and use your side to brush the vehicle. Then check with your mirrors to be sure that you have passed the vehicle well enough. Then traffic gate to the right and re-enter. Yes, this one is very important. Sometimes some people they will not finish overtaking too well. They will want to re-enter the front of the vehicle they overtake. That one is called tagliare la strada di veicolo da sorpassare, like it's in a quiz. So you must make sure that you do not cut the road of the person that you are overtaking. When we make cut the road, it means you are just slightly overtake the vehicle and you are just entering the front of the vehicle. It's like you are forcing that vehicle to mash its brake. So it is not a good way to re-enter. Another thing is not to stay too long. Not to stay too long while you are still on that overtaking lane. So you have to make sure you don't enter too soon, not to tagliare la strada. Then don't stay too long, not to cause obstruction for another vehicle that want to make use of that lane. Remember, these two things are in the quiz. Then you then watch with your mirror, right hand mirror, and traffic gate to the right, then you re-enter. Immediately you re-enter, avoid sudden speed reduction. Some people finish overtaking, all of a sudden they want to receive phone call, they want to do anything, they reduce their speed immediately. So the vehicle that you just overtake will not be frustrated. The driver of the vehicle that is being overtaken, which is veicolo da sorpassare, as I said earlier on, the things that is expected of him. If anytime you are being overtaken, the vehicle that is being overtaken must facilitate the maneuver. If somebody wants to overtake you, it's your duty to make sure that you make the overtaking easy for the person. Then some of the things that you must do to make the overtaking easy is that you must not increase your speed. The vehicle that is being overtaken must not increase its speed, because sometimes some people want to overtake you. That is when you want to increase your speed. That one, it becomes like you guys are doing race. Gareggiare di velocità, it's not allowed in public road. It can lead to revoca. Cases where overtaking are prohibited. Overtaking is prohibited where there is a vertical sign that prohibits it. Overtaking is prohibited whenever there is a vertical sign prohibits it, which is segnale di divieto di sorpasso. This is the sign. Overtaking is prohibited where it forces you to cross the continuous line. If your overtaking will make you cross the continuous line, you are not supposed to overtake. So quickly, let us look at some of these quiz that we answered. This one here said, è consentito il sorpasso sulla intersezione purché non provenga nessuno della destra. This answer is falso, because it is not allowed for you to overtake in intersection when there are no traffic lights, where there are no traffic agents. So the intersection that you can overtake on is where the intersection is being regulated by traffic light or traffic agent. If it's also intersezione spassati, that one you can always overtake, because spassati intersection are the one you find in autostrada when overhead bridge, other vehicles pass through up and you pass through down, so nothing changed. That one does not stop you from overtaking. So quickly, we look at the other ones. I conducente di veicolo sorpassato può gareggiare in velocità con il conducente di veicolo che lo sta sorpassando. Can you imagine? That is exactly what I said before. This thing is in the quiz. The driver of the vehicle that is being overtaken can run at a speed with the vehicle that want to overtake him, which is faster. You must not do that. You must not do that. Overtaking is prohibited in curva and in dorso in una strada a doppia senso di circolazione. I said that before, like overtaking is not allowed in the curve and in humps in a road that is a two-way circulation road, which is some vehicles are going, some vehicles are coming. Mind you, that road must be one lane to each direction. So if the road has 2 lanes to each direction, overtaking can be done in curva, it can be done in curve, because once you have minimum of 2 lanes to each direction, you are not scared of the vehicle coming in your opposite side, because you always have 1 lane of overtaking that vehicle cannot use to come. So once you have minimum of 2 lanes going to each direction, overtaking is allowed everywhere. Then in this case, they are saying è consentito il sorpasso sulla corsia di accelerazione purché la manovra venga effettuata con attenzione. It said it is allowed for you to overtake in the acceleration lane. As far as you are doing your overtaking with caution, it is not allowed. Acceleration lane is not meant for overtaking. It can cause accident. Okay, it is FASO. Then this one here is saying, il sorpasso è consentito in curva se la strada è a due carreggiate separate con almeno due corsie per ogni senso di marcia. That is what I've been saying since. Overtaking is allowed. Why I'm repeating myself is that these questions are very often, and I'm bringing it to your notice that this is the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying, so you don't have a reason to be confused. Overtaking is allowed in a two-way road, no problem. It's a two-way road, but it has two carriageways separated, and it has minimum of 2 lanes to each direction. Yes, you can overtake in the moon, in the sun, because there is no vehicle coming from your opposite direction. You can overtake in the curve, in the hump, even if you are not seeing ahead too far, because you are very sure that there is no vehicle coming from the opposite direction. That is why overtaking is allowed. All right, so this is another question. La manovra di sorpasso si effettuata di norma a sinistra. Yes, this is true. Normally, overtaking is meant to be done from the left. That is the normal. But on some cases, you can overtake from the right. On 2 cases, I can remember clearly that you can overtake a moving vehicle from the right. It's when the vehicles have already made signal of turning to the left and have already initiated this maneuver. Then you can pass through the right of the vehicle, overtake the vehicle through the right. Another case is in the case of tram. When tram is moving and there is enough space on the right hand side, you can always overtake the tram from the right. Remember, tram cannot just suddenly leave its track. So if there's enough space, if the road is built in such a way that the tram maybe is in the middle of the road, you can overtake the tram from the right also. Then in the other case is when a tram or a public bus is offloading passengers in the presence of salvagente, which salvagente is those places that the tram or usually offload passengers is built to guide those passengers coming down from the tram. So they will stand on top of the salvagente and they will now look at the crossing and cross to the marciapiede. So in that case where there is salvagente, you can overtake from the right while the tram or the public bus are offloading passengers. But in the absence of salvagente, you cannot overtake from the right. Because if you try to overtake from the right, you might smash the passengers that are coming down from the bus, from the public bus. Another question you will remember is that there's a question that said overtaking is not allowed from the left. That's the question you just said. Overtaking is not allowed whenever a public bus is offloading passenger. It's FASO, because when a public bus is offloading passenger, you can overtake the bus from the left, because buses don't drop passengers from the left. So overtaking is allowed when buses are offloading their passengers. It is not allowed from the right when there is no salvagente. So try to remember the difference. Okay. Yeah. The next question here is: in autostrada si può sorpassare indifferenzialmente a destra o a sinistra? I say in autostrada you can overtake whether from the right or from the left. It is not true. Normally overtaking is done at the left. Nella fase di sorpasso, il conducente è tenuto a evitare di stringere o di tagliare la strada al veicolo sorpassato. That is what I said earlier on. I'm repeating this is because I'm bringing your attention to it on the quiz. It said in the face of overtaking, the driver must avoid to constrict, to tightening, or to cut the road of the vehicle you are overtaking. That is what I said. If immediately you have not even finished overtaking, you want to enter the front of the vehicle. That is what they are saying. So you must avoid it. It is actually true, because they said you must avoid such a thing. It is true. In this case, they also said, il sorpasso in autostrada può essere motivo di incidente se il forte vento laterale compromette la stabilità di veicolo. He said overtaking can be a reason for accident in autostrada if a strong side wind compromises the stability of the vehicle. That is true, because that wind might be so strong that it will now push the vehicle from the side and the vehicle will lose stability. So if you are overtaking at that moment, if it is your vehicle or if it is the vehicle that you are being overtaken that encounter that kind of wind and lost stability, the both of you might crash with side. So that is why when there is heavy wind, you should be very careful while you are doing your overtaking. They are just pointing your attention to the possible dangers of overtaking. Okay. This other one here is saying, se si vieni sorpassati. They are talking about you that they want to overtake. Se si vieni sorpassati. Mentre sopraggiunge un veicolo da senso opposto. Now, somebody want to overtake you and the vehicle is coming in from the opposite side. Si ha obbligo di mantenere la stessa velocità. They said you have the obligation to maintain the same speed. Hi. That's wickedness. I know that the driver that want to overtake you is supposed to look at the front to be very sure that it is clear. But now in a situation like this, somebody want to overtake you and another vehicle is coming from the opposite side. You are supposed to slow down. So that is why it is fast. So you are not supposed to remain on the same speed. You are supposed to slow down your speed so that it can quickly enter your front. So don't say you want to claim right like the driver. You should have looked before entering the overtaking. For the driver to jam another vehicle face to face, he will use side to brush you. That is how it happens on the road. For the driver to jam another vehicle face to face, he will use the side to push you to the bush. So remember, the reason for all this old driving stuff, the school and the tutorial, is to increase safety on the road, not to tell you that you are right or you are wrong. No, it's for safety. So to avoid the accident, save the situation by reducing your speed when you see that a condition like that arise. Okay. Quickly, this one we are going to take a few more. Il vietato sorpasso se il veicolo da sorpassare si è ferma per dare precedenza ai pedoni anche fuori della attraversamenti pedonale. He said that you must not overtake vehicle that stop for pedestrians to cross, even if the pedestrians are not crossing on the pedestrian crossing. If a vehicle stop for them to cross, you are supposed to stay behind that vehicle. And it is true. It is prohibited to overtake police and ambulance vehicles in service. Yes, there are also questions that said it is prohibited to overtake police vehicles that are not in service. That one is faster. But now they are in service, you are not supposed to overtake them. And how do you know that they are in service? With the siren and the blue lights. Quickly, è vietato sorpassare un'autopolizia non è in servizio di emergenza per non ostacolare la marcia. This one is actually false because the autopolizia, they said non è in servizio. It is not true. Ok, il sorpasso non è vietato in ospedale, in piazzola di sosta, incrocio regolato con semaforo o agente uscita di parcheggio. Because there are questions that say sorpasso is prohibited in these places is false. Those questions are false. In front of hospital, you can overtake. In front of piazzola di sosta, you can overtake. Incrocio that is regulated with traffic light or traffic agent, you can overtake. And uscita di parcheggio, you can also overtake. You can overtake in front of filling station. That's carburante. You understand? So those are places you can overtake. All these things, as there are questions that tell you can overtake, is not true. It's false. cases when overtaking from the right is allowed. I said all that before. You can overtake. Il sorpasso deve essere effettuato a destra quando il conducente di veicolo che si vuole sorpassare abbia segnalato che intende svoltare a sinistra, ovvero in una carreggiata a senso unico, che intende arrestarsi a sinistra e abbia iniziato la manovra. Like they are saying now that, as I said before, a driver wants to turn to the left, and in the other case, is in the one way, the driver wants to park at the left side of the road, and he has already started doing that kind of maneuver. You can overtake that driver from the right. It's not a problem. Il sorpasso di tram, qualora glissersi non circolano in sede stradale riservata, deve essere a destra quando la larghezza di carreggiata a destra del binario lo consente. I said all this before. You can overtake a tram from the right if the wideness of the road allow it. If the road is wide enough. Quando non si può sorpassare il tram, qualora i tram siano fermo in mezzo della carreggiata per salita o discesa di viaggiatore, non esiste il salvagente. Whenever there is no salvagente, you cannot overtake a tram that is offloading passenger from the right. But it's very rare to see when a tram is offloading passengers without salvagente where they are coming down. It's very rare. I've not seen that before. But if in case you see that, it is not allowed. Don't overtake when there is no salvagente. Don't overtake from the right. Overtaking is prohibited in a two-way road with only one lane to each direction for truck more than 3.5 tons, at least 100 meters in between themselves. Okay, what they are saying here, this thing is actually a question. You know, in a road that has a two-way road that has minimum of 100 meters. Sorry. Okay, this one they are saying here, they are saying overtaking is prohibited for trucks that have the full load weight of more than 3.5 tons. Those trucks that carry goods that have the full load weight more than 3.5 tons, they cannot overtake. They don't need the Divieto di Sorpasso for them to know that they cannot overtake in a road that have one lane to each direction. That's a two-way road that have one lane to each direction. They cannot overtake in such a road. It is the law. So in that case, it's also in the law that they must give 100 meters in between themselves. If you want to know the reason why they have to give that 100 meters in between themselves, remember the overtaking is allowed for smaller vehicles. So if there are no spaces in between those big trucks, the smaller vehicles cannot overtake 10 trucks together. So that's why the law states that since this big truck is not allowed to overtake in such road, a road that is Doppio sensor with one lane to each direction, big trucks cannot overtake in such road. It's a law. So for that reason, they have to give spaces among themselves so that those cars will have a space to overtake them one after the other. So I believe that is some of the things we can touch in overtaking. And remember, this video cannot really touch everything because there are still some things that you still need to know. If I come across it, I might make part 2 of the video, but I don't want the video to be longer than 30 minutes. I need to stop. Yeah. Remember to share, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. See you some other time. Thank you. Bye.